Good evening. What an honor it is to be here in this great hall. My grandfather is buried up on the hill there, and my grandmother stands here, and my Nelson Baker. My name is Floppy Baker, and I'm running for band manager. I have a political science degree and certified negotiator. Also have years of experience working in business management. As a band manager, I think it's important to be objective in the certain areas of accountability, transparency, improved services in housing, education, as well as elders care and health and welfare in any one level. Those categories are all altogether very important. As well, I think it's very important to be a visible community leader and be in visible functions in the community, as well as the cultural events, as well as in sports and recreation events, being there and getting trusted people so that being invisible, we can erase the side effects of being in doubt with chief council, having resentments and bridge that gap with fear and anxiety towards getting funding and representation, a positive representation, so we can all walk together into the future, together with our hands together in future generations.
Thank you. So your impression on this is very important. How would you promote fair, consistent policies, procedures, and practices within the Squamish Nation administration of programs and funds? For example, that services are provided in a consistent manner and it is not based solely on favoritism.
Very good question. Whoever wrote that, thank you very much. Well, the first thing to do would be get the input from the people so they know exactly what their words are being carried over to the chief council member, and my job as the manager to ensure that goes through. Be part of being accountable and being transparent with all that information. If it's not, then those wishes and dreams and needs from the people will not make it to the council table and they're lost cause. So it'd be very important just to be at the forefront of that, taking accountability of going there from door to door. We're creating the youth enforcement, going to the schools, talking information on the board information committees so we can discuss those things and move forward. So everyone has a strong, so our young people like this and girls can be very confident and being proud of their work counts and it's being taken seriously. They should be out there. Thank you for your time.
Deanna Lewis, please come to the stand. Deanna Lewis.
Oswaya Kanoya, Yethlin Kaplan Kushami, Deanna Lewis, please not. Good evening, everybody. Really proud to be here tonight and see all of you lovely people, my family. I feel so good in my heart that we are standing together as one, coming together for the greater good for our people, for our future. And just looking around validates why I'm standing before you. I'm a voice for our youth, a voice for our mama, our children, our little babies, our mama. I stand before you as a single parent. The teaching from my grandfather, he has always told me that we are all equal and that we are never to look down on anybody, that if we are looking down at them, we better be ready to pick them back up. These are those humble teachings that my grandfather has told me. And he always told me to stand up for what you believe in. So I want to be able to stand up for our people about education, about, I stand before you between education and our health and our healing. Awesome. I didn't get to say much, but okay. But you know me, and I'm true to my heart, and I thank you all for being here tonight.
Good month, Tommy, Paul Malay. So your question this evening is coming through the category of recreation, and your question is, when are we going to have our own Camp Jubilee for our children?
I love this question. Well, actually when I was in tourism business management many years ago, well not that many, 2006, I actually did a program about revitalizing our Evans Lake camp. Those were my childhood memories were the best that instilled in me about who I was. As Aboriginal, being on the land, we used to do survivals. Halactin was there. He was one of our teachers with art and culture. It was the best times of my life. And I actually have a portfolio, a program that we give in my communications class. I have a list right now of all of these people that would volunteer their time to, put hammer nails in companies that would deliver wood and build our bridges. My cousin Danny, build all the bridges and roads to Evans Lake, and all the people that would help fund it and give up their time and volunteer there. It would be a big passion of mine to have our Evans Lake camp work, be up and running year round, where we can have our healing place there. So our people can heal our people. We could have our ambassador program run out of there for learning our culture, out on the land, because our land is our classroom. We'd be able to have our artists and residents there. We could also have it as a hub for tourism. So that could be something where we can bring in our revenue for our people as well. And we can have cabins there. But I would love to have our own Camp Jubilee. I've worked at our Yachtaway camps for 10 seasons. I think Pollock and our Yachtaway program that really instilled in our youth, that I see some of our youth today. I was just talking about a Yachtaway camp and Camp Jubilee. We have our families that go there to learn about our culture and our language. And so I hope in the future, and I already have the template for it, I really hope that we can have our own Camp Jubilee or our Evans Lake camp back. So thank you. Waymaker.
Again, to remind everybody that your patience is definitely a virtue, and we do acknowledge each and every one of your patience this evening. We want to give thanks and acknowledge that of our elders that are here this evening, and family members that are apart from their partners, away from their husbands, and so on. We want to thank each and every one of you for sticking around and being here.
Hello everyone, my name is Wayne Baker, and I grew up in Capilano. I'm Maltese family. Mom, there you got it. She wouldn't even say that. By the way, this is not a week. For those of you who think that it's just a movie thing or something. But anyway, what I'd like to touch on is the pedestrians talking about lacrosse. And because that was a big part of my background, I played 40 years and played on 4 Canadian championship teams, played pro, and I played senior A. But the thing about being on those teams, what I learned is what it takes is a team to win. And all those guys out there know what I'm talking about. There's no better feeling than winning when you're on a team. And it's not I either, it's all of us. And when you're on a floor and you're getting hacked and slashed and you're bloody and you're still running out there, but you're doing it for your team because you want to win. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. So your question tonight is coming through the governance category.
I picked finance.
Oh, finance. My apologies.
Let's get that straight.
Alrighty.
But the reason why I picked finance, people, is because of the $48 million deficit. What are you going to do about it? And it's climbing.
Okay, thank you very much, Wayne. But your question this evening is, in your perspective, do you believe in forecasting a financial plan for our nation? If so, why?
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but again, I want to go back to the deficit because we can talk all night about everything else, but this is a very crucial thing that we need to look at before we can even go forward. And people have voted twice now for a forensic audit, and people have to understand that it's very important that this needs to go through before we can talk about anything else, and anything else can go forward so we can start building trust and accountability. People need to know the truth, and that's the bottom line. They want to know the truth. And to build a good team, you need to have the trust in your players. And that's the only way
we can do this together, people. So we can put checks and balances in places, and then these things can never happen again. We have to stop it, and it's the only way we can do it. And that's what I like to. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for coming up. I just gotta see you. Where's that Glenn Newman?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Glenn Newman, and I know I don't have much time, so I'm going to read pretty quickly. If re-elected as band manager, I will continue to be an advocate and spokesman for all membership. I will continue to mediate council band members with issues of service delivery. I will continue to treat all band members with respect and dignity. I will work with the band manager and our Walter Schneider and all department heads to promote wellness and healing in all our communities. Accountability and transparency is a priority for our leadership. But one of my campaign visions I see is it is time to change. I would like to focus on, if I'm elected, for electoral reform, which includes the band manager's role. The time has come. I think we should develop a position, whether it be a mediator or most lesson, terminate the band manager's elections by the year 2017. I would like to approach membership and council to have discussions within the next 2 years or less. And I wish all the candidates good luck.
Thank you, Kate. So your question is coming from the governance category, and your question is, would you be in support of a young adult council to get to the heart of all our youth's concerns, as our youth feel more comfortable with their own age group?
I would agree with that. I had mentioned before, we need to have what we call a youth leadership council. And also to challenge our leaders, we have 16 counselors, to take a young person, male, female, student, once a month and be with them once a day to mentor our young ones in communicating bands, programs, services, and opportunities that could be for them for future involvement, whether it's politics, employment, or being on committees. The youth should be put in the comfort zone where we give them the space, where they give them the tools, give them the opportunity, but more so leadership, engage themselves, take one youth and promote and mentor, even like a big brother or big sister. And I think that would be one way to bring our youth and get them involved. Because right now, councils and such, they're hugely involved in a lot of technical stuff, and we need to break that down into simple language.